Hey guys, welcome back to another video. So in today's video, sorry, you're staring at the car seat floor of an Opel Corsa which isn't even mine, it's my dad's. But anyway, so in today's video we're going to talk about something pretty interesting, right? And it's going to be confidence. Now, and well, why specifically about confidence, right? Well, confidence in many ways is, I think, one of the key things that anyone needs in order to become the person who they want to be and get away from the person where they are now. Now, why do I say that? Why does that even make any sense? So the reason is pretty simple, right? Because when you are confident, you believe in yourself a lot more. Therefore, you become more risk averse. And the moment you take more risks, especially, you know, in the number one game, which is the game of life, you actually start to see very quickly how much you're capable of. And this is a very bad example. There's someone I knew who was an alcoholic. I keep bringing up alcoholics. Anyway, so he told me, you know, he says you have to get drunk at least once because you don't know your limits until you cross them, right? The same is there for life, you know. You don't know your limits until you cross them. You don't know how capable you are if you actually pushed yourself every single day to the best of your ability to become the best version of yourself. Now, confidence in many ways is also something that people can see. It's something that people can sense. A client who's working with you, or at least wanting to work with you, he has now a choice between whether he wants to work with someone who's confident or unconfident. Okay? Who do you think he's going to work with? Probably the guy who's confident. If you go into an operation, like let's say you get some crazy brain injury, for example, and some neurologist has to operate on your brain, or I think it's a neurosurgeon, he has to operate on your brain, okay? And he says to you, listen man, I don't think I can do this, you know, it's only my second time. I mean, I don't know about you, but I'd be pretty scared if that was the case. I'd just die, because I mean, and I'll die anyway. But it doesn't matter where you are. The number one thing you need in anything in life, sales, just life in general, is you need to be a confident individual who at least emits the fact that he's capable of doing the job. Even if you don't know what the hell you're doing right now, you should at least be capable, because, well, at least capable of putting yourself in that position to learn. And the only way you put yourself in a position to learn is if you work with people. And you can only work with people if you're confident in who you are as a person, right? This could be a service you're selling, whatever. So it's a big thing, right? Confidence is important in many ways. And the next thing is obviously consistency, okay? Consistency is something that you'll see very often inspires confidence. Someone who's consistent is very conscious of who he is. He has a lot more clarity around who he is. There's no separate self. There's no one day I'm this person who's cold calling X amount of people a day, and then the next day I'm just lying in bed the whole day. He has a better sense of self because he meets with himself more often than someone who is basically two shadows of the polar opposite habit, okay? And oftentimes what people do is they don't ever confront that shadow, which is lazy. And what ends up happening is they just live their whole lives in a mix with their shadow. Instead of sitting down and saying to yourself, okay, why is this happening? What triggers me to become lazy? If you actually paid more attention to what you did every single day, you would notice very quickly that there are small things that happen, okay, that make you want to be lazy. Maybe it's your sleep schedule. Back to another video. Maybe it's what you're eating. Maybe it's your loss of perception over something like your goals. These are all important factors that you need to keep in mind consistently, okay? If you want to become a businessman in life, you cannot do so without being a consistent person first, okay? Back to the video I said earlier, like, well, yesterday, which was, you cannot be a consistent businessman if you're not a consistent person. It just doesn't make sense, okay? So always, no matter what, just keep that in mind.